How do we write a basic C++ program? Well, my name is Rishi Remju and welcome to the Backbench Engineering Community where I make engineering easy for you. So let us ask ourselves that obvious question: how can I write a basic C++ program? Well, let's find out. So, a C++ program. So here, just like the name suggests, this is a type of a program. So, a program consists of a set of instructions that we give to the computer so that the computer can perform a particular operation. That is what a program stands for. So that is, if my mother wants me to perform a set of operations, she will give me instructions. But she will give me instructions in a particular language. It would either be English or Malayalam. So if my mother wants me to buy a packet of milk, she'd tell me, "Hey, poi rendu kor paal vedichittu va." In Malayalam, that's obviously what she'd be telling me. But we can't tell the computer or ask the computer to do the same. So for us to give certain instructions to the computer, we use a programming language, and one such language is what you refer to as C++. So programming in C++ is very simple. So let us start with a basic program. So let us simply display this text: "We are the future." So our main aim here is that when we open an application, we have to be displayed this particular text, that is, "We are the future." So in the case of C++ programming, whatever instructions that we're giving to the computer, that is, the main tasks that the computer must do, is written inside what you refer to as the main loop. So it is inside this particular int main that we give whatever we have to give onto the particular computer. But if we are giving instructions to somebody, we would take letters, or we would take words, or we would take the vocabulary from certain language. That is, we know what language we're speaking. If it is English, we take letters from the English dictionary and we'd use them together to form words, and therefore we'll communicate. But in the case of C++, there are a set of libraries from which we can take things. So therefore, while writing a C++ program, we have to mention which all are the libraries that we're using. So the simple basic library that we have to include in the case of the C++ program is #include IOStream and using namespace std. So these are the first things that you have to include before writing a program. So while including these two, we are specifying that yes, whatever instructions we are going to give to the computer is from this particular library. So now we have included these two, and now we have opened the main program inside C++. Now our ultimate aim is to display the text, "We are the future." So for us to display something in a particular program, we use the cout function, which is given as cout. And now we have to give two less than symbols like this, and in double inverted commas we have to write "We are the future." And after this, close the double inverted commas and close it with a semicolon. And now after the cout function, we have to include return 0. So now after closing this, when we run this particular program, the first thing that would be displayed to us is "We are the future." So this is a basic simple program to display a particular text. But now let us take it to the next level. So in the case of object-oriented programming, we saw the fact that a program consists of two main things: variables or data, and functions. So now let us write a basic program to find the sum of two numbers. So let us write a program for that. So now here we have to include the two things, #include IOStream and using namespace std. And now inside the int main function, first thing we have to do is that now we have to find the sum of two numbers. So these are two integer numbers. And now after finding the sum of these two integer numbers, we have to store the sum in another integer number. That is, the symbol formula over here is A is equal to B plus C. So here A, B and C, all these three are integers. So because of that, first we have to declare three variables. So therefore int A, B, C. There are three variables now. Now we have to tell the user that, hey, please give us two numbers so that we can find the sum for you. So just like in the previous code, we have to display something using the cout function, saying that cout enter two numbers. So therefore, after displaying this, now we have to accept the value the user inputs. So for us to accept the value and take an input onto the program, we use the cin function. Simple. It's basic common sense. Cout is to display or give an output, and cin is to obtain an input. So therefore, first we will take cin A, and then we can take cin B. Now we have two integers a and b. So a user can give a as 3 and b as 4. It's up to us. We can give whatever values we want to. So now we have to perform the arithmetic operation c is equal to a plus b. Therefore, the value of the sum a plus b is stored in c. And now we can write Cout, the sum of the two numbers are, and we close the inverted commas. And now when we have to display the value of this particular integer, we don't have to put the double inverted commas. We can just write Cout c. And now what we observe is that once we input these two values, then we can obtain the sum given as the sum of the two numbers are c. Therefore, it will give us the sum of a and b together. Now we put return 0 and we close this. As simple as that. So now when we run this program, the first thing that would come in the output is, if this is the output window, first thing that would come is enter two numbers. So therefore we have to enter two numbers. So let's assume that I have entered 3 and 4. And now while I enter 3 and 4, next thing that would be coming is that the sum of the two numbers are. It would now find the sum of the two numbers 3 plus 4 and give us as 7. So this thus is the basic program as in how we can find the sum of two numbers. So now using this particular algorithm, we can use this to write a number of programs. This is the basic idea behind how you can write a basic program. So with this idea, you guys have to try out different programs, how we can do different programs, be it for multiplication, division, or to display certain patterns like a Christmas tree or a Fibonacci series or arithmetic progression or geometric progression. So all these simple things can be done if you have the basic understanding of how a program works. This is the basic understanding of how a program works. So with this basic understanding, I want you guys to try out different types of programs that can be asked from C++. And if you guys have any doubts after working out any programs, feel free to contact me. I'm happy to help. Now let us take this to another level. Let us now declare a separate function for the purpose of finding the sum of these two numbers. So in the case of a function, it has got three parts. First part is a part where we declare the function, the second part is a part where we call the function, and the third part is a part where we define the function. So I'll make it simple for you. So let us assume the same program in which we have to find the sum of two numbers. So first we will declare a particular function before the main function over here. So let it be int sum, int num1 and num2. So here what this states is that we are declaring the fact that a function called sum is present in this particular program with two parameters, num1 and num2, where each of these are integer values, and now from this it will return a particular value which is also an integer value. That is what a function declaration states. And now inside the main function, let us declare three variables, say int a comma b comma c. And now what we can do is that we can say c is equal to sum of a comma b. So therefore, when we call this, it says that whatever value that we obtain after performing a and b as parameters in this particular function sum, that value will be returned and stored in C. That is why we use the word int here, because int states that an integer value will be returned and will be stored in C. So therefore, C is equal to sum of a comma b, and therefore Cout, the sum is Cout C. But here we do not accept any value. So let's accept a value and show. Let us say Cout, enter two numbers, C in B and C. So this is called cascading. We can use a single operator and do it twice like this. So it will first input the value of B and then it will input the value of C. So now after this, let us write A is equal to sum of B comma C. So now therefore here whatever happens as parameters B and C in this particular function will be stored onto the integer A. And now see out the sum is A. So this is the function call statement. That is, we are calling this particular function. That is this. This is the function call statement. And now this is the interesting part. Now we have declared a function and we have called the function, but we don't know what actually that function performs or what actually that function does. So therefore now we have to define that particular function. So therefore after we have closed the main function over here, now we have to define the function. So int sum, int num1 comma int num2. So what we do is that inside this, let us create a variable int result, and now simply all we have to do is that result is equal to num1 plus num2. So the value of this particular integer result stores the sum of num1 and num2. Now all we have to do is return that particular value of result. So return result. And now we can close this. So now here, this is simply what happened. So now here we have declared a particular function over here. Now when we start the main function over here, we have seen that there are three variables over here, A, B and C. Now we are asking the user, give us two numbers. So the user will enter B and C, maybe values 3 and 4. And once we enter two numbers, it will call this particular function saying that this value of A must store the sum of B and C. So when it calls here, it goes over here and checks. So okay, fine. So the value of B goes over here and the value of C goes over here. So therefore a temporary variable result will store the value of B plus C, and therefore it will return this particular value and it will store in this particular variable A. And now we can give an output saying that the sum of the two numbers is, and we will give the value of this sum A. As simple as that. This thus is how we execute a basic program with the help of functions. As simple as that. So I want you guys to try out different programs based on functions and variables. So in the next video, I'll be introducing the concept of classes and objects for you guys. So stay tuned for that. So because our time is limited, I won't be able to complete the entire syllabus for object-oriented programming for K2U syllabus. But I will give you a small strategy as in how you guys can complete it. Modules 5 and 6 are pure theory. So you can go through the theory part of Android and understand the entire theory part where you can write essay questions and all those things. And now Module 1 to 3 is completely based on object-oriented programming and C++. So if you have a clear idea in that, then you can be able to perform well in modules 1 and 3. And module 4 is Java. So if you find it difficult to keep on toggling between Java programming and C++ programming, I'd advise that you stick on to programming from C++ and just go through basic theory from Java so that you can have a clear strategy to execute the K2U examinations. So in the next video, we'll be seeing what you refer to as classes and objects in C++ programming. So I hope you guys now have a clear understanding of how you can write a basic C++ program. And if you guys found this video informative, do hit the like button and join this community by hitting that subscribe button. We'll be discussing about the further topics in the upcoming videos. So stay tuned, stay subscribed. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.